it was birthday parties for a long time. And the name of my business, which my brothers still make fun of me today, was called Parties for Stylish Children. Not Doris, Dwek events. Parties for Stylish Children.
Welcome to Chapters by Propel, where we take a peek into the real lives of trailblazing community women with a mix of honesty, humor, and inspiration. I'm your host, Melanie Kuehl, and this is just part of the story. Welcome to Chapters by Propel. I am your host, Melanie Kuehl, and today I feel so lucky to have with me someone who has been in the event planning space for 25 years. She is a powerhouse of creativity. She really can turn any space into something that I'm going to say is just really magical, and has made so many memories for so many people in this community. And today I have with me Doris Dwek. Doris, I'm so excited you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Before we start, I just want to tell you that you are genuinely one of the reasons why I thought of doing this podcast, because every time I would go to an event that you planned, I would really marvel at how you can turn anything into just something spectacular. Simple parties, bigger parties, anything. I just feel like you have such a special touch. And I always wondered how on earth you started and how you became this. And now I'm so excited to find out.
Thank you.
So before we talk about now, can you tell us a little bit about who you were growing up or as a child?
Okay. I have three brothers. I'm the oldest. And I wasn't a great student, but I loved people and I was fun. Teachers loved me, but I couldn't really sit still and focus. I was always creative, I think, but not such a serious student. Then I graduated and I went to work at the Deal Sephardic Network, which was before the center in New Jersey, and I was the youth director. So I was kind of always planning events. I like to plan things, I like to organize things, and I like to see things from the beginning all the way to the end. It's very exciting for me, and that's where I kind of came alive. I wish I paid more attention in school. It was a little bit of a struggle for me. That's where I kind of started in after school as youth director at Deal Sephardic Network.
And I feel like it sounds like that melded so many of your talents that were already there, whether you knew it or not, that you were organized, that you were creative, that you could see a project through from beginning to end, that you had younger brothers. I feel like managing them was probably a project too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now after you became a youth director, was it right after that you sort of said, I could see this turning into something with events? How did that happen?
I went to Parsons School of Design. I didn't graduate because the test and the presentations was always daunting to me, but I got a lot out of it. A lot of the projects I did, met a lot of creative people. And then I worked at the center, got married, and planned my daughter's first birthday party in the backyard, at the time where it wasn't about money. It was more about creativity, everything with my own two hands. And that's where other mothers started to say, oh, you could do this. And then I started.
Okay, so you planned the first birthday party and you obviously enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it.
How did you find your first client? Do you remember your first job?
I remember my first job. We're gonna remain nameless in this interview. Okay. But somebody came to me and said, could you plan my child's birthday party? I said, I don't know. I called my mother. Could I do it? What do you think? She wants to pay me. What should I charge? And I did it. My mother said, go for it. My mother's also a very big influence on me. She's always been a powerhouse businesswoman from when I was young. So she said, Doris, go for it. I planned that birthday party, and every time you do one party, there's always a lot of people there. So it's like a walking business card. Every party is a big advertisement. And then the next mother and the next mother. And then it kind of took off from there. And I did very elaborate children's birthday parties for a very long time.
Okay. So now this is really 25 years ago you started doing birthday parties, which is unbelievable altogether.
So much fun.
And now, how did it happen that you went from now doing birthday parties to, I don't know, was bar mitzvahs next? I'm not even sure what happened next.
Well, it was birthday parties for a long time. And the name of my business, which my brothers still make fun of me today, was called Parties for Stylish Children. Not Doris, Dwek events. Parties for Stylish Children. And I was all about the glue gun. And I remember once I made a very, very big safari themed party for somebody with animals made out of jelly beans and uh, the hired little Monmouth College students, and we put every single jelly bean on. I loved it, and then went into bar and bat mitzvahs. And in the Syrian community, it was never a thing, bat mitzvahs. Then it became bat mitzvahs. So we did that for a long time. And then I noticed a little bit of lull in the business because people started to go to Israel, thank God, for their celebrations. And people were canceling. I think we're going to maybe celebrate in Israel. I said, great, great. And somebody called me for a wedding, and then it started from there. But I love both. I love children's parties. I love bar mitzvahs. And whoever calls, we do everything. Anniversary parties, birthday parties, anything.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Like, what do you love most about doing this? Or is there a favorite kinds of party that you love to plan?
I love being part of the happiest day of people's lives. If it's a wedding, it's very special to them. Even if it's a milestone birthday, a bar mitzvah, a first birthday party, it's no better business in the world than to be part of the happiest times in people's lives, right? So I definitely love that. Is there one kind? No, I love anything. Anything that's a happy celebration. I love them all equally.
And it's true that you really do get to be there for people's
It's great.
happiest moments.
It's great.
That's how I think of you. When I think of you in the middle of an anything, and it's always people celebrating and happy and seeing smiles and feeling love in a room.
Exactly. That's the whole point of what we do.
Okay, so you're planning all of these parties, Doris. How does it happen? Like, can you walk us a little bit through your process? Like going from where you're meeting with a family or a couple or someone to when the party happens.
Okay. So first of all, I have a great team behind me. It's definitely not my business is Doris Dwek Events, but it's really I have a team of all women,
Right.
and so we're a big partnership. I meet the family, whether it's parents and a bar mitzvah boy or parents and a bride. I try to say, tell me about yourselves. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? Most of the time, people say, I don't know. I don't know what I like. You tell me what I should do. I said, no. I got married. My daughters got married. I made 2 weddings already. This is your day. It's not about my Instagram page. It's tell me what you like. Do you like red? Oh, I hate red. Okay, so now we know you hate red. Do you like a destination wedding? No, I hate destinations. Okay, great. So I try to tell me about your favorite restaurants. Where do you guys like to go on vacation? What is your aesthetic? Can I come see your house? I come to see their house, not to see what they have or what they don't have, but I could see, are they modern?
Yeah.
Are they more simple? Are they low key? Because sometimes people have a very hard time expressing what they like, even though they do have a style of their own. And I believe that a party should be a reflection of the person. The best parties are the ones where people walk in and say, oh, this feels like Mary's wedding.
Yeah.
Not it feels like Doris Dwek's another wedding. So I try to bring out the personality of the couple. And sometimes it's a little challenging when not everybody's on the same page. I definitely think that party planners are planners/therapists. I believe that the process of planning an event is just as important as a day of. So my team and I are very big into good vibes, and we try to keep it stress-free. And I tell people this is why you're paying me, to take the stress out of it. So I go through what they like, what they don't like. Of course, we speak about budget, which nobody ever knows what they want to spend. But then when I ask them a few more questions, they somehow find out what they don't want to spend. And I try to put together all the ideas, that inspirations that they give me, come back with the design plan, hire everybody they need to hire, bring all the best vendors. And I don't drag people to a million meetings. I take out the not fun parts and only bring them into the fun parts. Tastings, presentations, stuff like that. And then show a presentation. Most of the time it's, I love it. Could you tweak this? Could you tweak that? And then we tweak. And then we have a great day. And the day of the party, I really try to keep it fun, light. on time and stress-free. My goal is to keep it stress-free for everybody because it's a very stressful time making these events. Even though it seems like it's very exciting, it's always very stressful for people. So I try to make it fun and light. And I think that's why people enjoy working with my team and I, so we don't take things too seriously.
Yeah, and I love 20 things about what you just said, but I love that so much of what you're thinking about is who the client is and who the people are, and making it so that when we walk in, we say, this is so you. Because I think that that's very special, that you don't put your, even though it's your hands in everything, it's not like, oh, I could tell this is a Doris party. And I find that in people's homes too. Like some people's homes are in a way like it really feels like them, and some people you feel like it was sort of plopped upon them. But I love that having that relationship is so important to you, because it sounds like a lot of this, between being the therapist and finding out about who they are, a lot of it is about the relationship you have.
Definitely, because it's a lot of money for people, whether it's a bris or a bar mitzvah or a wedding. It's an expensive world we live in, all different budgets, but whatever the budget is, it's a lot of money to that person. So the goal is to make them feel good about what they're spending, not spend more than they have. If they like orange, for example, and I hate orange, I have to make it the best orange wedding that I can. So it's not always a reflection of me, but it's my hand in interpreting their vision.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to do. Sometimes people are like, I can't believe you chose orange, Doris. I said, but that's the bride's favorite color. She loves orange.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make it the best orange party that it's gonna be that day.
That's such a perfect way to put it. Yeah.
That's what we try to do.
I would love to see the best orange party also. The best
I had
orange wedding.
full color parties. It was a challenge. But it wasn't my favorite, but I was very proud of the execution.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to ask you also. Like, is there ever a time when like you don't see eye to eye, but you make it happen anyway, it sounds like?
The only time I'll put my foot down is if I think they're making a very big mistake. So if somebody says, I insist that you put this over here, but I know that it's going to block the doorway and nobody else may be able to pass, I'll be like, no, I have to call a hard pass on that. It's not good for you. It's not the right thing. I don't really come across that often, because I say to them, listen, trust me. Breathe and trust me. I'm here for you, and we're going to make it work. Once you talk people through the process, you find out that they just may be a little bit nervous, and you find, what is your real priority? Okay, so I will make that happen. Just let me just color outside the lines a little bit. And they say, okay, it's just a matter of the way you speak to people. That's really the way it is.
And I was just going to say, that's your expertise. And that's also where this piece of you being good with people from when you were a kid really comes in, because I feel like if you were heavy-handed, people wouldn't feel the way they do about you. And the fact that you're able to manage their stress, no matter how happy an event is. My mom always says, like, even good stress is still stress. And it's hard when you're celebrating these things and making big events and everything that goes along with it.
Right.
So the fact that you try to make that as stressful.
I try. I was late today because I was on a Zoom. A mother and daughter was screaming about something at each other. They were like at it. I was like, okay, let's take a break here. This is not important. This is what you're paying me for.
Yeah.
I'm going to deal with it. I heard your side. I heard your side. Guys, go have lunch. Have a great day. I'll figure it out. They both independently called me and said, thank you so much. We were not going to have a good day. I said, well, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun. Let's make it fun. And I'm going to figure out a solution that each one will give a little, and then it will be fine.
So if event planning ever turns south, you could be a marriage counselor.
100%.
You're ready.
100%.
So where do you get your inspiration from? So you have the families. Is there anything that like you look around and you're like, this is where I draw a lot of inspiration from?
I definitely look at design magazines, as far Architectural Digest, travel magazines, hotel lobbies. I try to not look so much at other parties.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I see that something's very trending, as they say, or being done a lot, I'll be like, we're not going to do that now. I was going to do that, but somebody else just did it, and the one just before just did it. And sometimes the florist will get upset with me. Darsh, overthinking this. Just do it. I can't. But that's what she wants. The bride wants it. I can't do it. It's been done last Monday, the Monday before. Let's switch it up. So more challenging. Last wedding I did was completely based on a hotel lobby I got inspiration from in London. And I based it off of that. I try not to copy. I think copying is insulting to everybody all around. I don't like being copied. I don't like to copy other people, but everybody in every industry finds inspiration from other people. So I can't say that I never take inspiration from other people, but definitely try to put my own on it. But it
Well,
could be anything. I could be walking down Madison Avenue and see a magnificent holiday window. And my kids are always like, "Mine, I have to take pictures everywhere we go. Everywhere we go, you take pictures." Uh, yeah, the perfume display in Saks might be very beautiful. Anthropology always has great windows. I one time hired the guy that was doing the windows at Anthropology. He built me a whole entire bar mitzvah set because I just saw he had some paintbrushes hanging in the middle of the shoe department, Anthropology. So always inspiration everywhere.
well, and how awesome is it that you see the world like that?
Yeah, it's
Even
fun.
though it's annoying for your kids.
Fun. Huh.
But it is fun. It's also challenging, I would think, because there's so many, thank God, beautiful events happening round the clock and constantly, certainly within the community, that the idea of changing it all up constantly is also like creatively challenging, I'm sure.
It's definitely become a little bit stressful for me, and not as stressful, I would say challenging. I'm always trying to reinvent things, and it's the same places with the same people and the same vendors 3 nights a week. So it's everybody's seen everything, and people are a little bit jaded.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to make them see things a little differently. There's only a certain amount of ways you can make a room work for what we need it to be. But I think I'm doing okay.
You
know,
do. You
sometimes
do
I
it.
don't sleep. I stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning. My husband's like, "Still, you're gonna be on the computer?" I'm like, I don't." But then when I get it, I could take a deep breath, and I'm like,
Then you know you hit it.
yes, yeah.
So along the same lines, like growing from when you were doing 1-year-old birthday parties to where you are now, a lot of what we talk about is that people like me see you as like, wow, Doris Dwek, like she's a celeb and she does these crazy parties. And people feel like daunted by that because it seems like you've always had this going on, even though everyone who we speak to here on the podcast says like things take time. And that is just the nature of starting anything. So as you grew, like what challenges were there along the way? Or do you remember any challenges along the way as you were growing?
Still challenges. Still, things are definitely not as they seem. Everybody thinks that being an event planner is so glamorous, and we're just walking around all day long with designer bags and pointing to people, and things just happen. Not the case for anybody. I have a great team, which definitely in the beginning I struggled with finances because a lot of creative people are very creative, but they don't always balance out the creativity with reality of money. They say, "I want to hang this from this. I have to have it this way." Okay, but how are we going to pay for that? So for many years, I would have to have this chair, but it's out of the budget. I would pay for it myself. I would just be like, I'll just make a little bit less money. I want them to have that chair. I don't want to cut it out, but it's really not. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it until I have a great team around me now that is very good at keeping track of finances. Not my strong suit. A lot of people struggle with the balance of two, and it really is two different jobs.
Yeah.
So they keep me in line. We don't lose as much money, and the business has progressed to more organized timelines. You learn things. The industry has also grown. So the tools that are out there, I wish I would have gone to college back then for event planning. I tell people all the time when they say to me now, what should I do to want to be an event planner? You should go to school for it, take a few classes at least to learn the business side of it. There's a lot of tools out there to help people with these basic things that I'm learning a little bit later on in life.
Did you have any formal training, Doris, or you really learned everything on the job?
On the job. And now I continue to learn from my team because nothing happens by itself. There's a team of hundreds of people that work on every job, from the caterer that has tons of people, from the florist, the floral production team, invitation lady, everybody. An event planner, in my opinion, is like the maestro, but we can't do it alone. There's a whole entire orchestra. You have to learn from everybody in all the teams. So anytime I do anything, I try to listen to my team. If I'm on a job and I say I want the lighting over here, and the DJ and the lighting guy says, no, Doris, that's a mistake, I'm going to listen. I'm going to say, why do you think so? And we'll go at what I want, what he wants, and he'll say, and I listen. So a good event planner is listening to the professionals, not claiming to know every single thing themselves. That's really what event planning is.
No, I love the idea of the maestro and the orchestra. And I think it must be so, because there is no way that that could be a one woman or man job
No,
altogether.
but there are some planners out there that only want to have it their way. And vendors get frustrated because they don't get the most out of their teams. If it's always your way and you're not listening, it's like a very big puzzle. You can't finish a puzzle without every single piece. So if you don't listen to that person and that person and this person, well, this might be okay, but though that corner of the room is not okay. Has to be everybody hearing each other and working together. That's how you get the best results.
So this episode, Doris, was actually generously sponsored by Silk. Sylvia was so excited to sponsor your episode. And, she has everything. She has dress up, dress down. She has weddings, bar mitzvahs, brisses, or just like everyday clothes. And I know you're a big fan of Sylvia.
Sylvia's amazing. I don't know how long she's been in business, but she started out doing a few things. If I'm not, she designs some suits, and now she has a full-blown store. She comes to DSN. She does trunk shows. Everybody says right away, is Sylvia going to be there with her stuff? She sells out all the time. I dress my daughters. I dress myself. Fabulous. I'm so proud of her. Thanks, Sylvia.
Very, very impressive. And she has an online store. She's on Kings Highway in Brooklyn. She's opening on Brighton Avenue in Long Branch. So she's just another woman out there who is
powerhouse. Very talented.
We're surrounded.
Thank God.
So thank you, Sylvia. So along the same lines of women who are crushing it, this is a podcast by Propel. So we also talk a lot about women and balance, and you obviously have a family. So how have you managed over the course of, I'm sure it's changed because you weren't married when you started. Now you're married, have married children. How have you balanced working and doing and going and having a family?
I have 2 grandchildren, and it definitely has progressed. When I was young and had young children, it was a different pace. It was different hours. It wasn't as many. I adjusted according to the time that I had available. I have the most amazing support system, the most amazing husband. Everybody says they have the most amazing husband, but anybody that knows me knows my husband Joey the best. Very, very supportive, has always been extremely supportive of everything that I've ever done. When we were dating and I was the youth director, he would ride the bus with me on the trips with the kids. He would always support me. So having a support system is very important for women that are working, because we work harder than men. This is facts. It's not Doris Dwek's opinion. It's facts. We have to be the mother. We have to be the wife, keep a beautiful home, and a business person. I'm not saying men don't have it hard, but we have just double duty. So for me, raising independent daughters, I have 3 daughters, 1 son. Thank you, Hashem, was always very important to me. So when it's challenging and when other mothers are like, oh, you're not going to be there for carpool today, and you have that little sense of guilt, I feel okay about it, because I have 2 daughters married, both work, both college graduates. One is a mom of 2. She always has something brewing, always has a business going. And I said, okay. So I did a good job with that. It's a struggle. It's definitely, you miss some things. It's a struggle to be present, which I sometimes wish I was a little bit more present. So when people say to me, as a working mom or event planner, they say, what do you suggest? I say, start out setting the right habit from the beginning. When you're at dinner, put your phone away. When your kids come home from school, put the phone away. So sometimes when a client calls you at 3:30 and your little kids are coming off the bus, not so easy to tell a guy that wants to review a wedding budget, oh, I'm sorry, my children are coming off the bus. But it's okay, because you have to balance. So sometimes I struggle with that. I could do better. I think we could all, as moms, do a little better. But I like to tell myself that my children appreciate it, And I think they're following in that independent woman situation that my mother set for me. And was my mother at every single thing all the time? No, but I think I wanted to be exactly like her. This all comes from my mother, all of it. And I'm trying to do the same thing. Again, support from my spouse is very important. And the holidays still come. You still have to have 30 people for every meal. I never say I'm not making the meal. I just stay up late or wake up early with joy, because having a beautiful family and 30 people at the table is the priority. So I enjoy the juggle. I thrive on the juggle. Honestly, it's never a burden to me. I never complain about it. It's always something I'm proud of.
So, Doris, it does sound like, and I hear in every word you're saying how grateful you are for your family. And I don't want you to be too hard on yourself, because I think for everyone, no matter whether they work or don't work, if they're involved in other things, everyone's trying to balance, some sort of existence with being a parent, with having a job, with doing community work. And it sounds to me like you really looked up to your mother in such a beautiful way, and that your kids are now getting that same thing from you, which is incredible and something that I see you're very proud of and that you should be proud of. I know you're also very involved in community work. Could you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes, I believe that community work is the responsibility for people that are able to give the time. We all have to do our part to be part of this community and to build it for our children and for ourselves. So I'm one of the founders of DSN. Definitely takes up as much time as my work and my family. And people say, how do you do it? We have to do it. We have to do it. And you have to make time. So maybe it's one less lunch with your friends, one less dinner out, but you got to roll up your sleeves and get involved. That's what I try to teach my kids. When they complain, people complain about this. I said, no, nobody wants to hear you complaining. Take your complaint, pick up the phone, and do something about it. So I don't look at that as a chore. I look at community service as an honor, and I love it. So I take the talent little talent that I have with the planning, and I bring it into that, and I try to tell other women, this is important. We all have a voice. Can't all be only men at the boardroom. It has to be women at the board. We have a different perspective. We have what to say, and let's be heard. So that's what I try to do.
You're right. You're right. And I think that we have so many incredible people in our community who really do take that on. And again, there are small roles for people. There are larger roles for people, but there's really something for everyone.
Yeah. For a young mother, she only has 1 hour a day when her child is napping. 1 hour. That's all it takes. It could be 15 minutes, little. And then when you have more time, you start, and everybody could find the passion that they like. It's always something out there.
I agree. And use their skills. That's what we keep saying here. Like, really, everyone has skills that they can put into doing good for the community, right, doing good for the world.
Propel.
It does seem like you might have like 38 hours in a day, but outside of that, the rest of us are going to use our 24 as best as we can. So when you think about people planning an event, what kinds of advice do you have for someone or a couple who are hosting something?
Okay. First piece of advice is to have fun. Like I said before, to enjoy it. It goes by very quickly, and it can either be a great experience or it could be a very stressful experience. So let's make it fun. Let's all have fun shopping. Let's have fun planning. Let's have fun talking about it. Stress-free. That's the first thing. Second thing is, don't take it so seriously. It's a lot of pressure in this community, in all communities, to do what the next person did, what I'm supposed to do, what if I don't do this. I don't listen to it. I don't subscribe. I'll never tell a customer, you have to do this. They did it last week. We have to do it. If I get a sense that somebody's overextending themselves, I pull back. People call me. I think more people call me to discuss weddings and not work with me than people do. Because I'll tell them right away, I could hear in their voice, Doris, I can't afford this wedding. I don't know what I'm going to do. If that's the first sentence, I say, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to go buy a notebook from CVS, and you're going to write these things down. And this is what you need, and this is what you want. And they're two very, very different things. What you need to make a good event is good energy, happiness, and being a good host. Past that, everything else is not important. Nobody cares what you spend. They only like to judge the people that make the biggest parties. That's the reality. When it's nobody's last meal that you're giving them at a party, you don't have to have every single meat. Nobody cares. Nobody's starving. You don't have to go into debt to pay for your wedding. I very strongly believe that. That's what I tell people. Focus on what you can do, not what you think you have to do, and reel it back. Come back into reality. Everything is not what it looks like on Instagram. Most people are in the same boat. So that's why I stopped posting on Instagram. One of the very big reasons, people tell me all the time, how come you don't post on Instagram? A very big reason, one of them, I think it was putting too much pressure on people. Everybody looks at Instagram, they like everything else in social media, and they say, oh, I have to have this, I have to have that. You have to have any of it. You have to have a great person that you're marrying, a good DJ, and maybe a few drinks. That's what you have to have in the reality. Flowers and tablecloths and things hanging from everywhere is all very nice. I'm not trying to take away from the job that we're in,
Yeah.
but I don't like to take money from people that they don't have. That does not make me feel good.
Yeah. No, I think it's exceptionally meaningful advice from you because you see everything and everyone. And as a guest at these parties, I think that we do walk away from the ones where we really feel love and happiness and like the host or the couple are just smiling and dancing. Like that is really where we remember an event.
Definitely. You could go to a $3 million wedding, but there was no life. There was no love in the air. Then you could go to a wedding where they barely have a centerpiece and it was the best night ever. And people were like, going home with blisters. That's a good wedding.
Yeah.
It's okay if you had to park your own car. You'll survive. Right? So that's really what I try. And people are like, I can't believe you're telling me this. I said, well, yeah, you shouldn't be hiring me. It's a luxury.
Yeah.
It's a complete luxury. Do you have a private chef? Cook your own dinner. Open up the recipe and follow it. So here's a recipe. This is who you have to call. I tell them, call them.
And it's so kind of you also that you help people.
We're all people. We're all the same.
I know. Well, we appreciate that. Other advice I would love for you to give before we wrap up is advice for women, which you gave us some throughout the podcast, who want to start doing something. They have a creative dream. They can see themselves one day doing something. What advice would you give someone?
I would say everybody's very gung-ho when they start something. And they start fast and they jump in without making a plan. So we can't plan for everything, but educate yourself as to your industry, whatever it is. Find out what the competitors are doing, what the market calls for, what you could offer different to the market, not just be another person offering the same thing. Nobody needs another person baking the same as that cookie, right? So what could you do different? And find your niche and go for it. Differentiate yourself, make yourself special and in demand. That's what I think is important. And start slow, not more than you can bite off, because if it becomes too much, you're probably going to give up. So start slow, build and build until it feels comfortable, and then take the next step and the next step. That's what I would say is slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah. No, it's great advice. And I think it's another thing that we have so many people around us who are doing incredible things. And I'm just going to say that now working with Propel, we also have mentors who you can call and say, like, I'm looking to get into the event planning space. Can you set me up to talk with someone? I have some real questions about the industry. And there are career coaches to help you think about what are your skills and your strengths and how can you put them to work in like the best way possible. And I feel like that has been such an amazing part of Propel that I didn't even know was part of it when I started. But that you can think about looking at someone like you and saying, like, one day I want to be that. And how do you begin? I know you're humble,
I also
but it's
think
impressive.
It's very important for women to help other women along the way.
Yes.
There's a lot of people, unfortunately, that don't want to see you succeed. So you should only surround yourself with those that do. So young planners call me all the time. And then they say, I can't believe you spent so much time talking to me. And why not? Why not? We'll all hear from Hashem and we all have to help each other. There's enough business for everybody. And I try to tell people, as long as you deal ethically and nicely to other people in your industry, whatever industry it is, and don't step on people on the way up, then everybody's going to become your family in your industry. If you don't treat people with respect in your industry, you'll never form a camaraderie. So you have to treat people with respect, and then you'll get a lot from people to help you along the way.
Well, I have to say, Doris, that everyone who I told that you were coming today, just was so excited to hear what you have to say and how much fun you are and how much you have to offer and how much you care about your clients and everyone who you work with. And I was really personally so excited because I've been thinking about you coming to the podcast for months and months, and finally found a time that worked, even though you landed from Israel yesterday. I really, really so appreciate you taking the time to be here and everything that you give to the community and all the time that you do spend helping us all celebrate our happy moments. On behalf of everyone, I want to thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for this amazing organization. It's unbelievable how it's changing the women's perspective in this community, giving them courage to do things that they never thought that they could do before. I wish it was around when I was young. And thanks for having me.
Thank you, Doris.
Thank you so much for joining us at Chapters by Propel. If you're ready for the next chapter in your career journey, give us a call. We're happy to help you with career coaching, navigating graduate school, or leveling up your business with some business strategy and consulting. You can email us at info@thepropelnetwork.org. Special thanks to Melanie Kuhl, our amazing host, to Hit Central Studios, and the amazing team at Propel. Good night.